So are you setting money aside to pay taxes as well?
Now I'm in a position right now where I need to. I know I need to. I'm gonna get 1099 at the end of the year, and by January I'm probably gonna owe like 2-3 thousand at least. I do. I will say though that my lease ends this month, so by this Friday I got to be out of here. Where I live now, it took me the entire time I was pretty much homeless between living with my brother for a little bit. I applied to 30 different places. With being so young and having no renter's insurance or very little rental history, um, I was spending $30 for each application for a background check or for application fees. I ended up spending probably $600 almost.
Welcome to Monthly Money, where we take a look at someone's past month spendings and the income that was coming in, how that all comes together to meet their financial goals that they're trying to achieve right now or in the future. Today we are meeting with Charles. Charles, how old are you and where are you based out of?
I'm 20 years old and I'm living in Hermitage, Pennsylvania.
What are you doing for a living there?
I'm a contractor,
Contractor doing what kind of contracting?
like residential work, such as like flooring, painting, all kinds of little jobs.
What do you bring in a year?
Probably about mid 20,000 range.
Mid 20,000? That's not much. That's essentially like minimum wage job, right?
Yeah, I just started doing it in June. I was working in the restaurant business for, probably since 14.
What made you go from restaurant business to contracting?
Well, I went through like a little rough patch. I kind of went through like foster care and everything and kind of took care of myself when I was younger. So I went through a little bit of, I guess, time where I was like homeless, living in my car. And then I lost my car. So I couldn't make it to my job anymore. And I kind of ran into an opportunity where I could be subcontracted through a family that would provide me with not only a slightly better paying job, but a vehicle to use as well.
Wow, that's intense. So your period of experiencing homelessness, how long was that? Like what were the rough dates?
Well, I moved out of my last foster home probably like 6, 7 days after I graduated high school. And I was doing all right. I had been making enough money to live in an apartment with a friend of mine at the time. Had a car, had a girlfriend, thought I was like the king of the world for a little bit. And that all changed whenever me and the girl broke up. I was spending my money like an idiot. Um, Lost that car because I totaled it. So probably like a couple months into that, like losing my job and everything, I was probably only homeless for maybe like 2 or 3 months, sleeping in a car that didn't work. And then I had a brother that was willing to take me in under his house for a little bit until I got back on my feet with this other job.
Wow. That's a lot to go through all at such a young age. Wow. That's so how are you feeling now going through all of that in your current position where you've landed in your life now? How are you feeling?
I mean, it definitely has me more like motivated than ever, driven to, never reach that low point again. But at the same time, like it's difficult for me to get away from that. I'm already the lease of the apartment that I'm in right now ends at the end of this month. And I'm kind of like in the same position. The job I was working or that I'm currently working doesn't really pay me enough to really afford much more than bills and gas and groceries, like the basic like necessities to live comfortably. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like facing that like adversity again.
Immediately what's sticking out to me is the income. There's your problem is your income right now. Like we really need to get that up. But let's take a look at your monthly money and see if there's anything else to take a look at either. So, your most recent statement that I have here, a 30-day statement on your checking account, you started with $0 in there. And then you had $2,887 put in and $2,363 taken out, leaving you with $524 put in there. So, first of all, $0 to start with. What was going on?
Well, the way that I basically like from me getting paid, I get paid once a week, and that pretty much gets me through the majority of the week. But by the end of the month, whether it's from bills or from kind of helping my sister out because she's dealing with the same stuff I dealt with right after high school, or poor spending as far as like I don't really have much time to cook. I know I hate that as an excuse, but I find myself eating out pretty often, and that kind of eats away my money too. So by the end of the month, I'm pretty much like dry. I have like little savings, if any.
So, why do you think you eat out too much if you yourself are able to recognize that you're not even living month to month, you're living week to week, you have no money essentially? If you're able to recognize that, why do you continue to do that?
Convenience, definitely convenience. Recently though, I started this like meal prep to where I can buy the majority of my meals, like 5 meals or 3 meals a day for 5 days a week, and I'll spend that, and that's been saving me money recently. But that's a pretty new thing within like the past 2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah, we have McDonald's. We have McDonald's, Cash App and someone, Cash App, Cash App, Cash App. McDonald's, Cash App, McDonald's, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, 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 Chick-fil-A, Subway. Wanted to be a little healthier that day. 4 Amazon Prime purchases in a row. There's a fifth one, and then we're back to McDonald's, changing up, going to Wendy's, and we're Cash Apping it again. Wendy's, McDonald's, 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 Chick-fil-A, Wild Bills for $38, and Romano's for $51. Checkers, haven't heard of Checkers in forever, for $18.95. And then Cash App, McDonald's, Hibachi, Wendy's, McDonald's, Wendy's. Oh, so it's one, for what you bring in, there are just too many purchases in general. Not even like what they are based on. There's just too many purchases. Two, 50% of the purchases on here, if not more, no, if let's include Cash App, definitely more than that, like 75%, something like that, are just crap. So what are you sending Cash App $225 for? That's crazy. What is that?
What was the price?
225. There's another one for 140 as well.
So the bills that I have, me and the roommate that was living here, what we would do is one of us pays it online, and then I would send him the other half.
Yeah. Okay. And then yeah, way too much eating out. And I think you recognize that. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but I need to kind of get a sense of other things as well. What is your debt situation look like, if anything, right now?
I have one in the collection agency for Verizon. I had a phone bill that I couldn't continue to pay, and I was planning on leaving for the military. And then turns out the phone bill was never shut off correctly when I had went to the store, and I owed them like 4 months of service fees when I was not using the phone at all. And yeah, I owe them like $400.
400. What about your car? Is there a debt on that?
The car that I use right now, which I had explained previously, is through the work provider. So I basically just pay rent on the car. It's not really my car. It's essentially a work vehicle, and I've just been throwing on the insurance.
Well, how much is that a month out of your pocket?
I pay about 150. nothing crazy to be renting a car for a month, but you know, I also pay an insane amount in gas because I have to drive a minimum of 50 miles a day to each job.
Any credit cards or credit card debt?
Just opened a credit card, no debt. This is literally the first month that I've been using it, a Capital One card. Used it one time this month, $20 for gas, and I plan on paying it off.
Man, I mean, I'll just be straight up honest. I don't know if credit cards are for you based on.
It just I'm trying to find a way to build credit. I can't be approved for any loan of any sorts. With no cosign for a vehicle of my own. So
Well, we wouldn't want you getting into any even good debt like well leveraged real estate. We wouldn't want you getting into that right now based on your current situation. So credit in this exact moment is not important. You surviving is what's important right now. What is your portion of the monthly rent every month?
well, we pay all the utilities, but for rent alone, four 450.
And then include utilities. What is it for you? Like 550?
That's just rent. Utilities is probably I'd say by the end of the month I pay probably about 650.
Those are expensive utilities. Okay. So like electric heating? Yeah, that's
Electric, gas, water. The only thing that they cover here is sewage. So I was with that price, I was including Wi-Fi and everything else.
And how many hours a week do you work?
About 40. I'd say pretty close to full time. Some weeks can be a little bit less than that. Some weeks can be a little bit more.
How'd you find this opportunity?
The person that I ended up rooming with here, it's his parents' business, and they kind of approached me while I was riding my bike 3 miles a day to work at a restaurant here, and it just wasn't paying quite enough. So they offered the vehicle and the job.
So taking what you made from 4 weeks of deposits and then evening them out across 4 weeks, I have you making about 567 a week, which would come out to 29,484, which is above the mid 20s that you said. So maybe it was just a really productive month, or there was a really good week or something like that. But that's what I have here on your statements. Now, of course, there are taxes. You're in a low tax bracket. It's not going to go too crazy. But so are you setting money aside to pay taxes as well?
No, I'm in a position right now where I need to. I know I need to. I'm gonna get 1099 at the end of the year, and by January, I'm probably gonna owe like 2-3 thousand at least.
Okay. Just that alone. No more eating out. You can't. We're almost done with the year. Taxes are going to be due pretty soon in the grand scheme of things. You need to pile up money on the side just so the IRS doesn't come after you come tax season. You can't eat out until tax season. Like you just straight up can't. You need to take everything extra and put it on the side for however. Oh my goodness, dude. That is the last situation you want to get into. Last situation is have the IRS come after you. Now, gosh. Probably bringing in a little under $2,000 a month. But that's supposed to be after taxes. But does that sound about right? 2,000, a little under.
A little under, a little over, depends. But yeah, 2,000 is a good like average.
Okay, and that should be considered after taxes. You should be setting money aside besides that. Oh, my dude, you're gonna get into a situation that I do not think you're gonna like. You've put yourself into a dangerous situation. You should always be putting money aside. Depending, I mean, to be incredibly safe, with your tax bracket and then state taxes, you said Pennsylvania, so, I'm not too sure of what everything looks like there, but I'd be putting 25 to 30% away each month. People from Pennsylvania in the comments will definitely let us know. And then with the tax bracket you're in, but that's what you should be putting aside. And that's just to pay future taxes. And then you split up the remainder money. But dude, you're spending, of the $2,000 you bring in after taxes, like $1,900, you're spending the majority of that on fast food, and then rent. How long has the Verizon thing been in collections?
Since July.
So, it's incredibly new. Income problem. There's two massive problems here. One, we need you to make more money. Two, you need to stop spending money on things, like going out to eat. The income thing. What city did you say you're from again?
I'm from Newcastle, but I live in Hermitage.
Are they both small towns?
Yeah, small towns.
Are you close to any major metro?
About an hour away from Pittsburgh.
Have you ever done anything sales related?
Yeah, I've been working since 12 years old. I've done a couple jobs. I was a manager of a restaurant. I don't want to count that as sales. I worked retail for a little bit. Kind of just have like my foot in everything. But I usually stick with a job, and that was part of my issues. I worked at that restaurant for 5 years. Just kind of like going up and up. But yeah, I've done sales.
Well, I respect loyalty, but loyalty goes both ways. If they're not paying you enough to essentially live on, and then for you to have your life accelerate in a way that, and cleaning up debts and all these things, then, you can take your loyalty to somewhere else that pays more. So just based on, because you don't have any college, right?
College, no.
You don't need a degree to be in sales, but what I'm trying to think, you're not really near. Man, okay. I mean, it doesn't even have to be sales focused. I get the vibe from you that you would be pretty good in sales. We haven't been talking that long, but I'm picking up that vibe, and that would be a good place to, essentially the harder you work, the smarter you work, the more money you make. And I think you would have a fire under you to do very well in that kind of industry. And sales can be in really any kind of industry. And the majority do not require a college degree. Some you can work from home and just be making calls. So I might look on like LinkedIn and Glassdoor and Indeed, see if there's any remote sales positions, apply the crap out of them. Especially the ones that don't require a college degree. But other than that, in your area, I don't know small town economics as well as I should. I'll be completely honest. I've kind of become one of the city dwellers in my life, and I know how things work here a little better than there. And I know across the Rust Belt, which Pennsylvania is a part of, small towns and their economies over the past few decades, they've definitely taken a hit. Some have come back pretty well. Some have not. Apply to any and every job possible is what I'm actually thinking. That, work your full-time job now and work a second job in the evening. And that second job in the evening is no fun, no getting McDonald's, but applying to any and every job possible. Every job possible that exists that pays at least $25 an hour. But I could see you in a sales role. This one's a little harder for me because, again, I don't really know your community. I don't know what the market is like there. I can speak about the national workers economy, but that tends to definitely focus more in major hubs. But, I mean, you're in one of the two sectors that's actually currently taking a retreat in the strong workers economy. Construction and tech, they've had the largest cutbacks. So that's kind of hard. Again, don't know how it affects your community, but that's problem number one. So second job in the evening, every day you get home, spend a couple hours minimum a couple hours every single day applying to any and every single job that you can. Number two, especially until one, the $400 is gone. Two, you have an emergency fund of 6 months of your expenses. And probably three, getting a very cheap car in cash with whatever your new income will be because you won't have the work car. After all of that, you are not allowed to even go look at the Golden Arches. It's not an option. Another thing you could do if you really want to work where you are now, get a second job in the evening if you really want to. You have to get your income up. I'd prefer you find a better position where you can accelerate in, but if you feel like you really want to stay there for some reason, I don't know if I'm getting that vibe. You talked about loyalty, but still, then you need to get a second job and you need to work 80 hours a week you can't do this. This is unsurvivable right now.
No, I definitely agree with you. I hate the fact that I'm still working the job I am now. It's not something I want to do, but I mean, I'm not afraid of hard work. It's not necessarily about what I want to do, and I understand that. It's more that it's not paying me enough to do what I do, and it takes up the majority of my time throughout the days. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been looking into certain other avenues. I feel like I just got scammed with this online course that I just paid a ridiculous amount of money for.
What was it? Tell me about it.
Market automation, like kind of like Instagram growth, like trying to, do like online business for other people, kind of selling an algorithm. Um,
Do you at least get a certification in the end?
no, no, it was kind of like you paid for the information. I didn't know what I was getting into completely, and I guess that's part of the issue. Um, the I won't mention the company that I paid, but basically I paid $800 um for them to teach me how to do some stuff I could have learned online for free.
And $800 is essentially half of your post-tax income. What about all your eating out? Are you actually going to stop that?
Eating out, yeah, yeah. Since I started doing this meal prep, like I said, really recent, probably within the past 2 weeks. The food's good. It saves me a ton of money. It's probably 65, $70 for all my meals for the week, and it leaves me to kind of just figure something out for the weekend. And on the weekend, I have time to cook. So, um, yeah, no, I mean, I'm willing to stick with it. I know I have to. I'm not in a position to, keep spending money.
And besides essentially having to, another thing you have to do is you need to budget the crap out of your money. You need to understand where every single cent is going and then not allow yourself to spend a certain amount because you should probably be saving up. This is going to suck and this is going to be hard, but just because you have a limited time left, you probably need to save like 50% of your income into, it doesn't matter where you put it, checking account, savings account, because it's not going to last long, but you have spent the taxes that you will owe. And you need to now essentially double your savings to make sure that you can pay for it come tax season. Yeah. You've dug yourself into a dangerous hole there that you now have to sacrifice your butt off of. And it's hard to live off of only $1,000 a month because guess what? Your rent $650, and then add your car rent and then gas. I mean, you probably can't. You need whatever your food. It's your rent, utilities, renting this car, the gas. And then, other than that, do you have insurance or anything?
No, I don't have any like health insurance or anything. Nah, I don't. I do. I will say though that my lease ends this month, so by this Friday, I got to be out of here. So I kind of have like I'll be couch surfing for a little bit. That will save me money with, like I won't have the utilities to pay. I'll still be making money. I'm just gonna shower at the gym, Um, Kind of just like that for a couple months, a couple hard months. But
Who are you?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's gonna reduce my expenses per month.
Why do you have to live in this town? Do you have to?
No, I don't have to. I don't have any family in this town. I don't have anything holding me back. I just don't really know anything outside of this town. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. I don't really know any other opportunities that would take me out of this town. And I don't want to go to the military, but it's kind of like an option of mine just because it's like an escape route.
I wouldn't want you to do that unless you want to do it. I don't want it to you to sign up for the military just because it's like the only option. You know, we want people who are going to perform the best, obviously, and those who perform the best are those who actually want to do it, not those who just have to do it to survive. It might be worth, and this is, God, the couch surfing and stuff. It might be worth every single hour that you're not currently working applying to any job in Pittsburgh that makes minimum $45,000 a year at a minimum. And then if you get that gig, go over there and move to Pittsburgh or something like that. You might have to move for better opportunities. Again, I don't know your town. I'm completely ignorant to the whole situation in your town, but if that's something you're willing to consider,
Yeah,
then maybe that's your full-time job right now is applying to jobs in Pittsburgh or another place that you know has good opportunities. And I'm sure you should. Can you not find rent right now? Are you not able to rent a crappy little studio for a few $100 in your town? Like 500, 600?
where I live now, it took me the entire time I was pretty much homeless between living with my brother for a little bit. I applied to 30 different places. With being so young and having no renter's insurance or very little rental history, um, I was spending $30 for each application for a background check or for application fees. I ended up spending probably $600 almost, or something like that, because it was about 30 applications, minimum of $30 per application, um, just to apply and get turned down. It took me forever to get into this place, and the only reason I could get into this place was because I had a roommate, and they could charge us an arm and a leg for the place.
One thing you could do if you do, you could do this probably in your place. Again, ignorant to the town, but one thing you could probably do in Pittsburgh if you're able to get a better job, and most places have like a Facebook group, Reddit group, or anything like that of roommates, and be like, "Yo, I'm moving here. Let me come sublease from you, and or let me come be a roommate. I'll take care of this. This is the budget that I have." And then people will reach out to you pretty quickly. Any place I've ever lived has great networks for that. So that might be a great way for you to get your foot in the door, where you to move into a place or get you a place right now while you're trying to get rid of all this. But you have to save like $1,000 a month right now, unfortunately, minimum, I think. But you can't. It doesn't fit in your money. So every single penny you can right now needs to go to a savings account so you can pay taxes come tax season. And then besides that, well, obviously, going into that is you're not eating out, not even once, and you're cutting back any cost that's not a strict need for survival. I don't care if your food is flavorless; it doesn't matter. What matters to you is surviving right now. And then you pay the taxes, and then your next priority is finding a job, whether that be in your town, a town close, or in a major metro, a job that pays you much, much better. And with that job, you're able to build up a 6-month emergency fund. You're able to take care of a really small collections. This is not small for you. And you'll be able to get your own place eventually. And then you'll be able to get your own car as well in cash, which will be awesome. You'll be able to start at a cheaper one and eventually go larger. I think you'll be able to get yourself on track. You just need to solve the income issue immediately, and you need to make sure the IRS does not prevent you from getting there by taking care of that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely I wish I wouldn't have spent this pretty much all of my savings that I had for this month. I spent on that mentorship class online, and I kind of kicked the bucket there because I fell into the trap of, like you gotta invest money to make money, and that's not always true. But for this, it seemed very legit. And then I was hoping that this would be my afternoon job, and it's it seems like a scam for sure.
Yeah. As you're going through this whole thing, don't pay attention to all the extra crap on the internet. Just follow the basics. Any final thoughts?
Nah, I just gotta cut costs and make more money.
All right. Well, I definitely want to follow up with you probably within honestly just a few months. And I really want to see if you're able to cut back how the IRS thing is looking and how the job search is going and how the living situation is going. But I'm sorry you've gone through such a hard time. I'm sorry that you're going through a hard time right now. But we are all wishing you the best of luck, me and everyone in the comments. And we'll follow up soon, okay?
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you.
Let Charles know what you think about his financial situation in the comments below. And if you want to help support this channel, feel free to join my private Discord, which is linked in the description below. Shout out to my 4 Cups of Coffee supporters: Abdil Martinez, Mark, Josh Bennett, Clayton006, Tyler Chong, Drew Smith, Timothy Williams, Sam I Am, Nicholas Springs, Jason Spriggs, Nicholas Dally, Tom L, Jay Freedom, and Hans. 8 Cups of Coffee supporters making the dream come true: Joseph Strickland, Anthony, an anonymous supporter, and Sam V03. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.